Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have news for you. I'm doing a health update today. After lots and lots of testing, I finally have results. And for those of you that may be new, you may not know this, I've been getting blood tests done and other tests done since early December to try to figure out what's going on with my system, which has been giving me lots of trouble since last March. So we'll get to backstory later, but without further ado, I should just not keep you hanging here. I have been diagnosed with Gilbert's syndrome. And Gilbert's syndrome is a really not well-known thing. It's pretty rare, I guess you could say, or probably more accurately undiagnosed, because for a lot of people there are no symptoms, and for a lot of people there are some symptoms, and for a lot of people there are lots of symptoms. I happen to be one of the people that has lots of symptoms, and it wasn't found by accident. So I kind of want to talk about what that means for me, what the symptoms are, how that's going to affect my life and stuff like that, because that's important to you guys if you are interested in my life stuff and my channel and all of that. So I think that, it's good that I have an answer, or really answers. I am the kind of person that likes to have a diagnosis because I like to be validated that I'm not just a hypochondriac who is making up symptoms. So, Gilbert syndrome is a liver thing where, and before we even get started, let me tell you, obviously I am not a health professional, and I'm gonna just kind of paraphrase this because I'm just a human and I'm probably gonna mess up stuff, so go easy on me if I do. And obviously if you think you have this, definitely talk to a doctor, because I am not a doctor. So Gilbert syndrome is a liver, I guess you could say, dysfunction. Basically, it's when it doesn't process bilirubin correctly, and bilirubin is, I think, is a waste product of red blood cells. And I'm realizing that I should be more well-versed in this, but it's new to me. So it's really just caused by an excess of the bilirubin, and it is considered a benign condition. So that's good news. It's not anything serious, if you will. It could be so much worse. And I'm thankful that it is a benign thing. It's just something that I'm gonna have to learn to manage and work around. So the Gilberts, for me, and I believe for a lot of other people, can come in episodes. It's caused by high levels of stress, low calorie diets, being sick with the flu or a cold, as well as menstruation in females. So any of those times that are creating stressors on your body can raise your bilirubin levels and then cause a Gilbert's episode. And what happens when you have one of those episodes is it can cause all kinds of symptoms. A lot of them aren't officially documented yet because, in my opinion, I feel like Gilbert's doesn't get a lot of attention because it's benign. But I have found websites that have done lots of testing on people, and there's all these lists of frequently attributed symptoms. And before we get into all of that, this is so much information. I have to figure out how to get to you in a way that makes sense. If you go on to Mayo Clinic or something like that with the reputable information, you're going to find that the symptoms of Gilbert's are things like stomach pains and gastrointestinal issues, fatigue, weakness, and yellowing of the skin. It does cause jaundice because the bilirubin is, from what I've read, a yellow pigmented thing, and it can make your eyes and your skin turn a little bit yellow. So I didn't even know that this is what I had. I started having these symptoms back in March, and I didn't know what they were caused by. If you guys have been with me for a while, then you've probably seen videos where I've talked about it before. I've been dealing with stomach issues for almost a year now. It started back in March, and it started when I started to get really stressed about my channel and all of that stuff. It was a new kind of stress, and this whole thing that we're doing here, I don't know, I've had a really difficult time managing my stress, and I'm one of those people, I put a lot of pressure on myself and a lot of expectations, even if they're not really there. I put that on myself, and I have a really hard time dealing with that. And so that started causing stress, and I started having to learn how to combat that. But you know, I also have this phobia that I've talked about before several times where I'm really, really scared. It's a emetophobia. I am scared of vomiting and other people vomiting around me, and I don't even like to say that word because I know that some of you guys have that too, and even just that word like makes my stomach turn. So I'm sorry to have to even say that, but basically for me, I felt like whenever I was stressed, I would get stomach aches, and whenever I would get stomach aches, I would get stressed because it would flare up my emetophobia and my fear of getting sick, and then I'm stressed more, and then my stomach hurts more, and it was like a continuous cycle that I could never end. So I started cutting out food because I thought that my stomach issues were based on the food that I was having, and there's definitely a possibility that that is the case. However, I don't even know if I'll ever really know that. But it worked for me because I felt like I was putting less risky foods in my stomach by going into the vegan and gluten-free diet. It really made me feel more comfortable with the things that I was eating and less concerned that I would get sick because of, you know, some kind of contamination or poor cooked meat or whatever. So fast forward to December of 2015, and you guys may have noticed that I posted almost nothing that month, and I was very, very absent, and that's because that's when I really started to get super, super sick. And I still, like, to this day, haven't figured out how to handle my stress, and I think a big part of that is mindfulness, and I'm really working with my therapist on this, and it's obviously something that takes time. But I was to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed, and I couldn't even really walk, and I couldn't do anything, so I spent almost the entire month in bed, so weak. You know, still I had an appetite, but it wasn't anything crazy, and even to this day I think that my appetite is low. But I started going to the doctor because eventually I was like, okay, this is an issue, like I need to be able to walk, and this is ridiculous. So we've started doing tests and all of that, and finally we have the diagnosis. But I found out after doing more research on Gilberts and the frequently talked about symptoms, that most of these symptoms that people have reported fit what I was going through. So I just kind of want to read the list to you guys that I found so I can make sure that we can go through all of them together. Fatigue, tiredness, brain fog, headaches, poor memory, dizziness, depression, irritability, anxiety, nausea, loss of appetite, irritable bowel syndrome, stomach pain and cramping, liver/gallbladder pain, abdominal pain, tremors, itchiness, and jaundice. And the only ones that I haven't had out of that entire list would be the irritable bowel syndrome, because I feel like that has to be diagnosed. I don't know. And liver/gallbladder pain, I just don't know what that feels like. So besides that, I have had all of these things, and I feel like as I've gotten through time, they've gotten worse. So each time that I've had my blood drawn, my bilirubin levels were higher, and it's just sad because it's like such a weird thing to have. And I didn't even mention like how you get it. It is an inherited gene mutation. So both of my parents had to have this gene mutation, whether or not it presented in their lives or not. I still inherited that, and now it's manifested in me because around December is when I had cut out all of the food. I had gotten to like the climax point of my vegan diet, and I was not eating enough food at the time. And so I didn't know that, but I wasn't eating enough calories because the foods I were eating were really low in calories because they were like vegetables and stuff. So I was not eating enough calories. I was super stressed, and it just really showed up at that time. So now, in order to kind of keep it in check, I have to really be mindful of my stress levels as well as eating enough. And I'm sure that there are other things that I should do, but I know that stress management and eating enough are the two big things that are going to keep it good, because I can't really control if I get a cold. I mean, like, I got to be clean, but it's not any different than every other day of my life. So, you know, so now kind of like what that means for me, because I know I've thrown a lot of like medical jargon at you, and I've tried to keep this as like flow as possible, but I don't know. Basically, I have to figure out now, like for real, I have to figure out how to manage my stress. And with this is where I kind of have to apologize to you guys a little bit. I tend to get really antisocial when I don't feel well. And when I have a Gilbert's thing, like when I get stressed and then my stomach hurts and then I'm more stressed, and another commonly mentioned symptom is just a general feeling of being unwell, and I get that a lot. It tends to just like render me pretty useless in life. I tend to just stay in bed and I don't want to really think about what's going on, and I have to like check out into a TV show or something because I'm so stressed about the fact that my stomach is hurting, and that really, really causes a ton of anxiety. So I tend to get really antisocial. I don't really tend to talk to anyone. I don't even like to be like present in life because I'm so anxious about it. And so the apology here comes in that I've been posting a lot less than I usually do, and also I've always told you guys that Twitter is the best place to get a hold of me, and I haven't even answered tweets in about a month. I think a little bit more than a month. So I'm really sorry that I have completely neglected that and kind of left you guys hanging in a lot of ways. I just didn't have it in me to be social, which is just lame, and I'm sorry, and I feel really bad about it. So I just wanted to apologize to you guys and let you know that I do plan to start answering tweets again. I'm hoping to be able to go through and answer old ones from since I stopped, but I don't even know how many will still be available, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna just really try to be there for you guys more than I have been in the past month, and I just ask that you can forgive me, and I don't know, I hope you understand, because I feel bad, and you guys are so important to me, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out how to juggle everything and stay well and be able to do this and give you guys content. And that's what I've been focused on most, is like, okay, if I can only do one thing today in this whole like YouTube thing that I'm doing, then at least I want to try to get a video out. So I've done a fair job at that. I've tried pretty hard, and I just hope that that you guys will understand, and that it can be enough until I can get my act together. So I'm sorry, and I really hope that I can get better at this and try to manage my stuff. And it's, you know, I don't know, maybe I need like a business manager at this point. I don't even know, but I don't know. Either way, it is what it is, and this is something that I'm gonna have to learn to deal with. I need to start doing something to help me relieve my stress. So I'm considering working in like exercise, whether it's going to a gym or like just doing daily burn. Totally signed up for the free trial, just gotta actually do it. Or yoga. You know, I need to figure out some way to release that stress, and in the past, exercise has been good for me in that way, because you do release endorphins, and that is helpful. So I'm gonna see if I can like get my butt off the couch and like I don't know, do something, because it's easy and accessible, and checking out into TV land is not really doing it for me long term. So, you know. So yeah, that's what's going on, and I'm really, really happy that I have a diagnosis. I feel really good that I know what it is, and knowing what it is means that I can more effectively combat it and learn to live with it and learn to manage it. So yeah, now it's just kind of letting you guys know what's up and hoping that you'll join me for the ride like usual. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about this, is that so many of you guys have been so interested and invested in my life and, you know, my journey with all of these different things. And this is just another thing that, you know, we get to do together. So I'm excited that I get to talk to you guys about it, and that I can, you know, relate to some of you. If you guys have Gilbert syndrome, then hopefully we can have like a thing, like a connection on it. We have it together at the same time. And yeah, so, you know, I will be definitely seeing a nutritionist to make sure that I am getting my calories and nutrients in a super effective way. So I did see that you guys had some concerns about the What I Eat in a Day video, and I am going to be releasing more videos on that type of thing coming up. So if you are waiting for a response on that, then just stay tuned. When I get my stuff together, I'll let you guys in on all of that. We'll make sure we talk about it. So just stick with me, and it'll be good stuff. So I'm not going anywhere. You know, definitely I don't want this to sound like I'm leaving. That's not happening. Just an explanation for where I've been and just letting you guys in on my life as usual. So anyways, I'll keep you updated if anything changes. I'm looking forward to reading the comments on this to see what you guys have to say, and I hope that you guys will just be my people. So anyways, I love you all so freaking much, and I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.